Okay, so chapter 4 is over the atomic structure. And in section 1, it was over defining the atom. When thinking about this in real life, involvements include like imagining bringing binoculars to a sporting event so that you can zoom in and focus on the action, because otherwise when you're really far away, of course, you can't see. So just like a scientist uses many different devices that enhances the ability to see, just like us, atoms are trying to see because they're the smallest particle of an element. As scientists believe that atoms were invisible and indestructible, but with experimenting with methods, Dalton transformed this scientist's ideas on atoms into scientific theory. When trying to picture inside the atom, we can actually see them. Just like we would bring binoculars to a sporting event to view these atoms, we use instruments such as the scanning tunneling microscope. In section 2, it was over the structure of the nuclear atom. The first device used in the 19th century was the cathode ray tube, which would achieve its greatest fame as the picture tube of the common television used today. So it was just like a TV would be today. And cathode ray tubes are found in TVs, computer monitors, on computers, and other electronic devices. We learned that atoms can be broken down into electrons, protons, and neutrons. With that in mind, we learned that the nuclear atom, the protons and neutrons are located in the nucleus. The electrons are distributed around the nucleus and occupy most of the volume in the atom. This is related to the box project and using a reference. The purpose was to determine the shape of the object inside the box without opening it. Our group we think we know how it's set up inside, but we haven't gone over it yet, so we're still determining what is exactly inside that box. So hopefully your guess was kind of on track. In our last section 3 was over distinguishing among different types of atoms, because there are many different. Just like the differences of atoms, fruits and vegetables come in different varieties, like different brands of apples. So when you go in a grocery store, you don't just see one type of apple. You see 3 different choices that you can choose from. That's just like atoms. The apple varies can differ in color, size, texture, and taste. Just like apples, chemical elements can come in different varieties called isotopes. We learned how one isotope of an element differs from another. Elements differ because they contain different numbers of protons. With this section, we did a lab where we had 3 different beans and they represented different varieties, just like the apples. With these, we counted how many different beans there were, and we separated them into 3 groups and weighed them and found the isotopes and all of the stuff that went along with that. And we recorded it in the table chart. We had to calculate the atomic mass, and it taught us calculating and how to figure out related problems. And that is the end of chapter